Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back. This is Cynical Enigma, and this is going to be a temporarily comeback. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who viewed my UHF video games episode number 1. It hit over 40,000 views and 500 likes. Again, I'd like to thank everybody who watched that video, and thanks for supporting my channel and enjoying my content. I tried to do my best to entertain you guys. And hopefully I'll be starting production very, very soon as I can get my cameraman over here to help me with episode number 2. And I'm not going to tell you guys what that's going to be based on because I want it to be kind of like a surprise. And alright, now with that said, I'd like to move on with the reason of this video. I had some free time, which is why I'm here right now. And I would like to do basically, top 5 things I miss most about gaming in the 90s. And of course you guys, some of you guys may know, some of you guys may not know, I was born in 1988 in December, and I basically started out playing the Atari, if you guys watched my UHF video game series, and that was the first console I've ever played in my life. But anyways, starting at... Alright. My top 5 reasons why I miss gaming in the 90s is going to start out with number 5 and work its way down to number 1. Sorry about that little cut. Anyway, starting with number 5, it's going to be no DLC. You could go out and buy any kind of game you wanted and you didn't have to worry about DLC or online updates or downloading the game to a hard drive so we could read it better and a lot smoother. All you had to do was just get the cartridge out, put it in the system, and bam, you turn it on. Turn it on. And yeah, that's basically all you had to do. You had no worries about future DLC or current DLC or anything like that. Or basically, like for instance, you're playing Zelda or Legend of Zelda. It says, "Hey, it's too dangerous to go out into the woods alone. Take this," and then you get a fucking sword in Zelda. But nowadays, if you were to do that, it'd probably be like, "Here, take this for $5.99 or $3.99 or something." You'd have to fucking actually pay for that shit. I mean, gaming has changed a lot, and I understand that because when as time changes, so does everything else. I mean, it's just a matter of time until gaming actually goes completely digital. I hate to say it, and knocking on wood. I really hate to say it, but that's what's going to happen. Alright, number 4 is sleepovers. I remember back when I was a kid and there'd be like a game that released on the N64 or even like the Sega Genesis. Like I remember Primal Rage, my friend Alex, he recently got that for his birthday party. I got to sleep over there at his house and we did nothing but play that fucking game all afternoon and evening. And I have very fond memories of that. And if you're wondering which version it was on the Sega Genesis, not on the 32X. And yeah, I mean, I even remember having a sleepover back at my house when I was a kid with my friend Chris. He brought his N64 over, and he had Super Smash Brothers, and we stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning playing that shit. And we would just be fucking sitting there button bashing, fucking sweating bullets and shit. And we got up at 9 o'clock in the morning the next day and continued playing it until his mom came to pick him up. And those were some really good memories. And alright, moving on to number 3 is the Sega Channel. I understand that, a lot of you guys didn't have it, but for those who were lucky enough to try it or have it or subscribe to it, they understand where I'm coming from. It was awesome, as you can see behind me. Right there, the Sega Channel. What it was is basically $15 a month. You get 50 games. You get to try out like 50 different games, and you could even try out games that weren't even released yet, that were basically still being tested. And they also wanted the people that had the Sega Channel to test it out too, which was pretty sweet. That's how I learned about some of the awesome Sega Genesis titles. Now, I had to wait until my dad took over paying for it from my brother Chad, because my brother Chad, he's nice now, but back in the day he treated me like shit. Me and my brother Tommy Boy 4550, he won't deny that. But yeah, Moving on to number 2, we're going to be talking about cartridge-based games. Now, the reason why I say this is because you can take a cartridge and drop it on the floor, and it's going to take quite a bit of damage in order for it to break or ruin. But now you got these disc-related games, and like they could easily get scratched, they could easily crack. They could get rings around them if they're in the system and the system drops on the ground. It's happened to my friends before. I don't think it's ever happened to me. I don't think so, but I really miss cartridge-based games because they were the easiest to take care of. Now, I understand what you guys are going to say too. You're probably going to say, well, the DS and 3DS and the Vita are starting to do the cartridge-based games. Yeah, I understand. But it's not like it used to be back when you had like the original Nintendo or Super Nintendo where you could just take the game and stick it in there. No problem, turn it on. And I honestly think Nintendo should go back to doing something like that. Because honestly, with the Wii and the Wii U coming out, I don't know about you guys, but to me it really seems like it's going to be boring with all this touchscreen stuff and the controllers like fucking this big and shit. Like, I don't really need a controller that big. Like, give me something like, for instance, this. Or something like an Xbox controller for the Nintendo or whatever. I don't want a controller with a screen on it. I mean, if I want a controller with a screen on it, I'll stick to my handhelds. But, yeah, moving on from that. Here is my number 1 thing that I miss about gaming from the 90s, sorry. Which is social gaming, having friends come over after school or on the weekends, you know, saying, hey, I got this game, or hey, I got that game. You know, trying out, like, Street Fighter 2, or Killer Instinct, or Mortal Kombat, or fuck, I don't know, racing games like the Crash Team Racing, or anything like that. You know, I mean, nowadays you have to rely on the internet to do multiplayer, and that's pretty much gone. And it's pretty sad because, you know, I like social gaming, I like playing online on the PS3 and stuff, but at the same time, I do miss having my friends come over to play games with me like they used to. Like, you know, on the N64 with Super Smash Brothers, or with WWF games or WCW games. Those were really fun. I had really good times. Fond memories. Especially playing like Desert Strike or SimCity with my dad, or like the Vegas Stakes game and everything else, and stuff like that. And that's one of the things I really, really do miss about gaming in the 90s. Now, this is going to be a tag video, if you can tell from below or above, whichever, I don't care. This is going to be a tag video. Anyone can participate in this, but I'm going to list 5 people that I would like to see talk about this. Number 5 is going to be TommyBoy4550. You've just been tagged by the Sim Man. And number 4 is going to be the one and only Crazy Cubano. Sorry! You're tagged by the Sim Man. Number 3 would be RRob78. I would love to hear what you have to say about the things you miss about gaming in the 90s. It would be awesome. The same with Crazy Cubano and TommyBoy4550. Number 2 would be Old School NYC Gamer. I would like to hear what he has to say about his gaming memories from the 90s. And let's see, number 1. Who would I pick for number 1? Let's see. You know what? I want to hear Syphic. Syphic, you're number 1. I know you don't do videos much on here on YouTube, but I wanna try and get you to do at least a response to this. I would love to hear about your TurboGrafx adventures. And yeah. So with that being said, this has been Cynical Enigma saying keeping it retro, 90s style. Shout out to you, Randy Gillian. Sign off.